Datum Charters goes down under as we were compelled to explore the Great Barrier Reef. Our travel to Airlie Beach from Brisbane, where the group met, was 1.5-hour flight into Proserpine and a 30-minute drive to Airlie Beach. Sharon and John linked up with Jake and Julie flying in from Auckland on that same flight that they had taken yesterday, and Captain Barry and First Mate Anne, they were coming in from Melbourne. We stayed at the Airlie Beach Hotel and then had dinner at the Fish Divine and the Rum Bar and called it a good night. Wednesday, November 1st, 2023, relaxing and provisioning was the order of the day. Sharon and Julie after lunch went shopping, and John went off to buy the wine, beer, and spirits. Dinner was at the Sorrento restaurant, and Texas beat the D-backs to take a 3-1 game lead.
Thursday, November 2nd. The morning was spent doing the charter company boat checkout. This was 4 hours of boat instruction, testing, and a demonstration ride. Given Captain Barry's license and CV, this could have been shortened, but he did need to demonstrate his knowledge and experience. Not all charters pass the tests. In those cases, they must hire a captain or forfeit the week. No refunds. We finally departed on our own about 12:30. Not only did the checkout delay departure, but also electrical and water problems.
The bridge is open if anyone wants to go up. Okay, thank you.
The passage plan today to Cid Harbour called for 16.91 nautical miles, took us 2 hours and 22 minutes at 7.1 knots. Our top speed was 9.8.
Took us through the narrow, unsafe passage, so named by Captain Cook, presumably in 1770, where he crashed his boat. The name remains on navigation charts today. Cook also named the Whitsundays. We arrived to Cid Harbour at 2:30 and anchored.
We are anchoring here at Cid Harbour, coming in at high tide, which it is about 2 p.m. Thursday, November 2nd. Jake is on the anchor. Captain Barry is on the helm.
This is an anchorage between Cid and Whitsunday Islands. No services provided. We were the second boat to anchor. By nightfall, there were 9 vessels.
Our little bird friend has moved back here with us. What would his predator be? Would it be?
The scenery was beautiful, like the San Juan Islands. The water was spectacular. Much of it was a blue aquamarine color interspersed with light and dark turquoise, depending on how the light hit it. By 5 p.m., it was very peaceful. The wind had died down, the tide was lowering, exposing more beach. Shadows were forming on the island hillsides. As beautiful as the water was, there was no swimming. The water was too dangerous, given the sharks and jellyfish. We did have jellyfish stinger suits and shark repellent, but decided not to venture in. We stayed on board and watched the turtles instead. Near sunset, about 6 p.m., Anne, Barry, Julie, and Jake took the dinghy out. There they came across a sign posted in the water, "Do not swim due to sharks."
Cheers! Cheers!
Dinner was at 8:30. Barry cooked burgers on the grill. Sharon and Anne made potatoes and spinach salad. John cleaned up afterwards.
What are you cooking?
I'm cooking some duck fat potatoes, and probably the most duck fat I've ever used in my life.
What are you doing over here, Julie?
Setting the table to make it look nice.
Oh, how pretty. Good job. And
After dinner, we did some stargazing with a cool app of Julie's. We also had the underwater lights on, hoping to attract some big fish. All we got were minnows. Texas beat the Diamondbacks 5-1 to clinch the World Series.
Friday, November 3rd at 7 a.m., the flybridge was a cool, breezy place to be. A nice way to start the day. Alright, Jake got the bridle going here. We're gonna remove it. We hauled anchor and departed at 9 a.m.
Anchor away.
Okay, and go ahead. Stonehaven on Hook Island was our destination today, but with a stop at the Nara Inlet, also on Hook Island. The passage plan for the first part of the day calls for 8.54 nautical miles. Took us an hour and 21 minutes, averaging 6.3 knots. And studying some charts. We've got John on the helm here. Looking good, guys. Heading to Hook Island.
On our way to today's destination was a stop at the Nara Inlet. Steep hillsides down to the water dominated the view. Jake and Julie took the dinghy to do a short hike up the hillside to view a cave monument at the Nagaro Aboriginal Cultural Site. Are cemented, or the shells are cemented into the rocks, rather.
Yeah, I can see him beaching the dinghy. It's already there. I see Anne getting ahead of them. Oh yeah, Anne's going up the steps. That's the trail, guys. They found it.
They're on their way.
Julie, Jake, and Anne were very lucky, as there was no better way to learn, reflect, and pay respect to history than by visiting the Nagaro Cultural Site. They transported themselves 9,000 years back in time, and they paused to reflect on the history of the Nagaro people, the Sea People.
We had first planned to have lunch in this quiet spot, however, decided instead to continue to our stop for the night. Better get there early and have our choice of mooring balls.
The passage plan of the second leg to Stonehaven took us an hour and 11 minutes, 8.69 nautical miles at a 7.3 knot speed.
River broke, the bloodwood and the desert oak, holding wrecks and boiling diesels, steaming 45 degrees. The time has...
Yep, the time has come for us to arrive.
We arrived about 2 p.m. to the Stonehaven anchorage. John did a couple turns at the helm today, and we were the third vessel to arrive. We picked the mooring ball closest to the reef. Now tied up, we had turkey sandwiches. Soon more boats began arriving, but no one was swimming. After lunch, a charter boat of snorkelers arrived. Jake did a short reconnaissance swim close to the boat. He thought snorkeling from our location wasn't good. The water was too deep, limited visibility, and no fish. The charter snorkelers seemed to have found a good spot. Once they departed, Anne, Julie, and Jake, with Barry driving the dinghy, went to that spot.
Great Barrier Reef, girls! You're doing it! Woohoo! Okay, they're all in there, risking their lives.
They enjoyed 45 minutes in the water until Anne spotted a huge jellyfish. Snorkeling was over.
Woo!
Here's a glass of Australian rosé prosecco for you.
Thank you, Mr.
Here we are in Australia having a wonderful time.
Thank you, Uncle John.
It was a beautiful sunset, just past 6 p.m. Dinner was at 7:30. Barramundi, done in aluminum foil on the grill, roasted potatoes, and broccoli. Delicious dinner and discussion until 11 p.m. Nearly 20 boats stayed overnight. Their lights and those of the Intercontinental Resort on nearby Black Island shone brilliantly.
And for all her work.
Thank you, Shay.
Our morning started with breakfast prepared by Anne and Barry. The scrambled eggs, English muffins, and fruit were delicious.
Table set.
On the table or up here at the buffet area?
Hamilton Island was about 2 hours south of the anchorage. We were the last to leave Stonehaven at 9:30. Arrival was easy. We were met outside the Hamilton Island Marina and escorted right to our dock.
Bow line has been handed.
Our escort and another employee tied us up. Engines were declared off at 11:30 and Sharon handed Barry his celebration beverage.
Hamilton Island.
Here we are.
For the afternoon, we all went our separate ways. We'd planned to see the sunset, then have dinner at the yacht club. Anne and Barry went to the resort pool. Jake and Julie went to the yacht club to explore. Sharon and John went to the resort's beach. Jellyfish hadn't invaded there yet. Hamilton Island is an interesting place. John named it Fantasy Island. The island is served by an airport handling 737 planes. There are no visitors' cars on the island. only golf carts and small blue and green buses. So we skipped the sunset, preferring just to spend time on the boat. Dinner instead was at Manta Ray. We ate family style with lamb shoulder, fish, and chicken platters. We shared a bottle of both red and white wine.
A great morning on day 4 started with a beautiful local bird visiting our stern. We set 9 a.m. as our departure from Hamilton Island. Our destination today is the Whitsunday Island. Our thoughts are to visit Hill Inlet first, and then backtrack to the south end of Whitehaven, where it's better protected to anchor overnight. The passage plan for the first part of the day called for 16.94 nautical miles. Took us an hour and 58 minutes. At an average speed of 8.6 knots, we did have a top speed of 10.4. Below deck. Immediately upon arrival to Tongue Bay, we took on a mooring ball, got the dinghy ready to head to shore.
On your leg.
11:14. Bye! Okay, and Hill Inlet. Let's do it. Alright, there's that channel we're supposed to use. Otherwise, your insurance is null and void. Wow.
Hills Inlet had plenty of mooring balls, as it's a popular destination from Hamilton Island. The group took the dinghy ashore. John stayed on board. Over the short hill was the north end of Whitehaven.
Okay, it is 11:20. The tourists are ready to leave. Sharon made it here. Anchor is set.
Please let me know. I do not want to
And Jake and Ann are ready to go.
Sharon described ascending the hill was comparable to walking the steep inclines at Machu Picchu, more difficult than she'd expected.
Okay, yes. Oh.
Wow, look at this inlet. Look at the sandbar. Look at these colors.
Don't say.
Look at that. You're in
I'm holding
Whitsunday
on.
National Park.
Watch me fall. At least I fall in sand. I won't break anything.
1214 Hill Inlet. And that was one heck of an inlet. It took forever. We're here.
The beach, they explained, was more of a sandbar, making walking difficult as it was water laden.
All right, there's Jake running to Hill Inlet. Right here. Well, 25, and it's going into the inlet. Hill Inlet. Woohoo! Swimming in Hill Inlet. No fear of the Irraconti jellyfish. She's doing it. Swimming without a stinger suit in Australia. Whoa, you are gutsy. Very gutsy.
The 1 mile round trip walk took about 2 hours. They arrived back hot, sweaty, and tired with spectacular photos. John enjoyed the cool shade of the flybridge reading. Sharon and Barry made grilled cheese sandwiches, and by 2 p.m. we are on our way to the night's anchorage.
Hill Inlet was one of those places in the world that you did not want to leave. But like everything in life, things must come to an end. We released our morning ball and headed towards our overnight destination. Whitehaven Beach was only 4.5 nautical miles. Took us 40 minutes at a speed of 7 knots. Our early afternoon arrival gave us the option to drop the hook at a unique spot, smack in the middle of that beach. This Whitehaven Beach is usually listed as the #1 site in the Whitsundays. Look at it. It is uniquely beautiful, sprawling white sand beach with stunning turquoise blue water.
The afternoon was spent lounging and napping. Numerous boats had spent the day there, but by sunset only 10 stayed. Late afternoon, Anne, Barry, Julie, and Jake took the dinghy ashore to walk on the beach.
Look at this sand, it's so soft. It doesn't even stick to my hands. It's silica, 95%. Softest sand in the world.
That is correct, first mate. Yes, it's pure silica, almost 98%. But silica is not present in local rocks. How'd that happen? Well, it is surmised that the sand was brought to the beach by prevailing ocean currents over millions of years. Look at that. Picnic tables here and everything. They have nice skinny long legs. They are pretty. I don't think they liked me. They're making all kinds of noises. They're not liking me.
Long stick-like legs and the habit of freezing motionless. Its distinctive, eerie, wailing call is heard mainly at night.
Ooh. Yeah, look at them. They're not moving.
Yeah.
You're right. They're acting like you can't even tell it's a. Oh, look at that wailing sound. Look at that. Now it's moving. Wow, that's pretty. You want to take a video of it, or what do you think? Should we do a video of her?
Let's.
Video of it, or a picture?
One of each. The bush stone curlew.
Whoa, that one is not moving. But that one did move. Yep, they don't like me at all. But I think Jake likes Julie. Well, Anne said her last goodbyes to the beautiful beach, and we headed back for happy hour.
Whitehaven!
Prettiest sand in the world. Sure is.
Sharon and I stayed on board, where she prepped the shrimp and salad for dinner. This was the last night for cooking on the water. We'll be in marinas the remainder of the trip. It was movie night on the Maklushla flybridge, watching Captain Ron, a goofy movie starring Kurt Russell and Martin Short, and supplied the popcorn. As usual, John was up before anyone else. The flybridge was cool and breezy. Except for 2 swimmers from the boat next to us, there was no activity in the anchorage. We had a leisurely getaway after breakfast, as we had no specific plans at Hamilton Island today.
The passage plan from Whitehaven Beach to Hamilton Island, 11.58 nautical miles, an hour and 24 minutes at an 8.2 average speed.
By noon, we were docked again. The island is served by an airport handling 737 planes from Qantas, Virgin Australia, and others, or by ferry.
Well, it was time to find out what animals and reptiles lurk in Australia.
Oh, that's something nice there, huh?
Oh, it's coming at me. See? Look.
Hi, baby. They're actually friendly, aren't they?
Yeah, they're friendly. This is really friendly. Look at that face. Whoa, whoa. The snake is considered medium to large, and it's found in coastal areas. Great, that's where we are.
It's not a kangaroo.
Not a kangaroo?
No.
What is it?
Wallaby.
Ooh, let's take a look.
With no breeze, it was hot and humid. Jake and Julie went exploring. The rest of us went to the resort beach and pool for an afternoon of swimming and napping.
Let's do it. Do it. Don't be afraid. Let those stingers come. Let them sting.
Oh, it's not the stingers.
We have no stinger suits.
The water's cold.
You guys have no stinger suits. You're crazy. You're gonna die. No stinger suits here, guys.
I'm gonna die anyway.
It is so warm, guys.
Oh my
like
God.
hot. Like hot.
Oh.
Look at that. Your feet are in it.
That better not be a jellyfish.
Guys, this is so warm.
Love it. Oh,
You're swimming with those jellyfish, huh? Oh, those irukandjis.
Watch me.
Oh, they're here.
Ready?
Look at you. Go ahead. Do it. Do it. Oh, she did. Crazy girl. Oh, you're risking your life. Oh, you too. I don't know. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, right. I'm already in it.
The poolside umbrella drinks were terrible, according to Barry and Ann. The young bartenders had no idea what they were doing.
At any rate, it was still fun to go from the beach and its sand to a clean pool.
We decided to skip sunset at the yacht club and simply chill until dinner.
We had a later departure than usual at 10:45 a.m. due to some yummy croissants and warm beef, bacon, and cheese pie. On the other hand, our passage plan to Long Island was 10.67 nautical miles, took us an hour and 14 minutes at 8.6 knots of speed.
But the trip out of Hamilton Island was a bit rough. Swells were small, but whipped up by the wind, and here the swells don't get very large. The local waters are protected by the outer reef and the proximity of the islands to each other. But once we turned into Long Island Sound, the water was calm.
Calm waters indeed, and as we went further into the Sound, we passed by Sandy Bay. 11:55 a.m. was our arrival time. There's my crew, ready to snag that mooring ball at Palm Bay, Long Island.
This adults-only resort had only 2 outer mooring balls, placed about 30 meters from the beach.
With such excellent salty crew on board, we snagged that mooring ball in no time.
The buildings are tucked into a grove of trees close to the shore. There was not a soul in sight, and from the boat it looked abandoned. Anne, Barry, Julie, and Jake went ashore to check out the resort and lounge poolside. Sharon and John stayed aboard, relaxing and showering, and working on departure packing.
We went through the dredged channel and beached the dinghy. We were all curious to scope out this uniquely shaped Long Island. Tranquil, breathtaking, and serene, we felt this place was nature lovers' paradise. We took a walk in a natural forest surrounded by hosts of wallabies. We were like a scene from Avatar. And on the modern flip side, there was a helipad as well as tennis courts. There's even tennis courts on this island.
We dinghied over back to the resort for dinner and had a lovely evening outside in a private setting.
It's dinner time. I smell food. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starving. I want some really good food.
Mosquito spray your ankle?
Anna's doing the mosquito spraying, taking care of everything, being a good first mate. Ooh, there's a pool here too.
A rain shower forced us under cover just before the dinner arrived.
But it was delicious. On the last day at sea, Sharon decided to go snorkeling. Julie, Jake, and Anne suited up with their stinger suit and accompanied her. Sharon knew this was her last chance to go snorkeling in Australia. She gathered up her courage and went down under, down under. Nah, Sharon was fine, but on to more serious things. The first passage plan of the day, going to South Molle Island, was 6.42 nautical miles.
For an early lunch stop, a short 45-minute ride. We anchored in a small bay in front of a resort that had been severely damaged.
All right. Very nice. Thank you, Jake.
Anchors away!
Our final passage plan to home port, 9.21 nautical miles, an hour and 11 minutes at 7.7 knot speed. We did have a top speed of 10.3. bringing us home safely. Hands do. Nice lasso, and you've always been good at that. No, she's always been good at that.